Okay, I will sit, but for my sound check, tell me your name and spell your name.
Brandon Hazelton. Brandon Hazelton.
Like the town in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I've seen a Hazelton town or two.
Yeah, they're definitely around. Do me a favor, move just a touch that way. There you go.
You trying to get the eagle in the background?
Yeah.
That thing's cool, isn't it?
You guys, I've been to a good amount of locals, and this is the nicest work I've seen.
And can you guess which one my class did?
I don't know you well.
I know. We did the Bender.
Bender? I heard he had beer in his belly.
Yeah.
Which would be perfect for Bender.
It opens up. I got the keys for it still.
So like, where did Brandon hide that stuff? Take a look.
I wanted to have everybody sign the door that worked on it, but nobody did.
Oh.
Like, you guys suck.
Now do me a favor, just pivot towards me so your shoulders face me. There we go. Okay. So we're here to talk about a sad experience that happened to you. Can you kind of tell me what happened?
Well, I got off an hour early. It was a Friday, and I heard a lot of commotion outside, sirens and stuff. So then I hear the siren stop right in front of my house, and I go out there, and he's talking to the neighbor. It's the Bellevue PD, and he says, "Oh, nobody told you either? It's a mandatory evacuation." My wife's not home. My son is the only one there, and so I hurried up, rushed inside, told my son, get some stuff, get some clothes, pet food, stuff like that, just stuff, because we didn't think it was going to be this bad. And so I went back outside. First time I talked to my neighbors, because we had a lot of snow this winter. I just moved in there in January, and first time I talked to them, and I asked them, how long did they say to prepare for? What are they thinking? And they said prepare for 2 weeks. So I'm like, okay, that's not too bad. I grabbed my dirty laundry, all my work clothes and stuff, and pets and pet food, and just stuff we thought we would need for about 2 weeks, And then the next day, it was already to our deck, and every day after that, it kept getting higher and higher.
Were you able to go back? Is it? Yeah,
it had the water had to recede. Nobody was allowed there. There was on Facebook, the Bellevue PD was putting videos on Facebook on their little John boat, just going and checking, making sure there's nobody in there and no pets and stuff. And they found some pets, no people though. Right. But and they were just that's all I had. That's all I had for information about it, was watching those videos. And then a few weeks went by, and it started going down, little bit. And then we got the clear to go in there. And we had to check in the Bellevue City Hall and make sure our name was on the list and stuff. And they gave us some paperwork and whatnot. And there was 2 checkpoints to get in there. We had the PD first, and then the military was the second one. And then we just drove in there. It was all wet still, really wet. And it was raining that day too. So we drove up, and there was a boat down the street, a little pontoon boat sitting on top of a fence. All the decks were separated from the houses. Just stuff everywhere. It was just mind blowing. And then I'm like looking, and it's like basically the top of the windows is where it was at, the water line. And then we pull up there, and my motorcycle was sitting right there, right where it was, and never moved. It's just really dirty, And my deck was separated probably about 4 foot from my house. So I made a little makeshift ramp to get in there and stuff, because it was underneath the deck. That mud was really, really deep and soft. So I didn't want to get stuck in it. So then we went in there, and there was no words to describe it. The way my wife described it, it was like a snow globe, and someone just shook it up, and then it settled, and everything just settled wherever it was. You know, the tops of my countertops were caked with mud. I couldn't even get in my laundry room because my refrigerator was like at an angle blocking the laundry room there. Yeah, and
So how many weeks were you out of your house?
Before we could go back,
Yeah.
I want to say it was probably 4 weeks,
Okay.
4 or 5 weeks.
So what were you doing in the 4 weeks? Were you still going to work?
Yeah. No, every day went to work. I had my work clothes, so I'm like, I can't let that get me down. I still got to get on with life. I was lucky. My daughter, my oldest daughter, she had an apartment that she was not using at the time. She was staying with her new roommate and her new roommate's apartment. So she's paying for this empty apartment. So that was a lifesaver. So we were able to stay there, and I had another friend, a coworker that worked at Saul Lewis that lived out in Valley and was affected. He couldn't get home, so I was like, hey, come stay with me. I got my daughter's apartment's empty. You know, come stay with me. So he stayed with me for about a week before he could get home.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
So you were earning money because you were working,
Sure.
which is good, but you know the union also reached out,
Yes.
International, with the disaster relief program.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
That was a big help because we had just moved into this house. We've only been in there for a month, and I had to pay a deposit and full rent for first month. So I kind of took a good part of my savings out. So I wasn't planning on, having to do that again. So that's kind of where that helps me out. I just saved it. I didn't touch none of it. I just saved it for when we could find another place. I'd had it. So that's kind of 2-3 weeks ago. I just finally got another place in Benson, and it's been nice, so far. I mean, I still have to go to the laundromat because I don't have a washer and dryer, but whatever.
So how long did it take for the first check to come from the union?
Oh, it was fast. It was. I think we did it like on a Thursday or Friday. I want to say the following week it was probably like Tuesday or Wednesday. It was real fast.
What does it mean to you that you go through this disaster?
Yeah.
And obviously your family's helping,
Yeah.
but your union also reaches out and says, you know what, you're at strife.
That's awesome. I've never been a part of a union before I was in this one, and the brotherhood of everybody. It's not just the money that helps. It was everybody, coming to help. It's really nice,
Yeah, because typically a union basically is there to protect your job, and this
Yeah.
has nothing to do with your job.
No.
This is your personal life.
Yeah.
But part of protecting your job is you get to go home safe,
Mm-hmm.
alive
Yeah.
in some cases, depending on the nature of your work. So does the union really care about your whole life?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because soon as they heard that I lived in it, like I was affected by it, they were like, "We're gonna help you. Don't even, we're gonna do everything we can to help you." And then, the financial thing, that was nice. That was a big help. And like I said, I just saved it for when we can get a new place. But everybody else that helped with clothes, I had a few work shirts and some work clothes, but everything else I had only work boots. Everyone wants to wear work boots all the time. But yeah, I mean, everybody helped out with I just sold my pickup truck also, so we're moving stuff, with our cars, so. But then people helped out with pickup trucks and stuff, and
So were people in the local helpful as well?
Yes, very, yeah. Everybody wanted to help, and I don't like to ask for help that much, nobody really does, but sometimes when you're in a situation like that, you gotta ask, and people were more than welcome, or more than happy to help us out.
That's great.
It was really nice.
So is this disaster relief program something that we should have in the future?
For sure. I mean, nobody plans on this, I mean, it's nice that it's there, because I had renter's insurance, not flood insurance, so I get nothing from that. The only help I got was from the union.
Wow. Huh. And how about your wife? What was her job situation? Like, was she able to work? Or?
She's a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
So I have a granddaughter. She watches her a lot.
You have a granddaughter?
Yeah. My wife had 2 kids when I met her, but a lot of times I like to be like, yeah, I was 13 when I had my first kid. But no, she was out running, and when it happened, so she wasn't home. I called her like freaking out. You need to get home now. We need to get packed up and go.
So, give me a little background. What's the river? Was it a river that?
Okay, Missouri River's maybe a few fields away. I don't know exactly how far, but then there's all these little rivers that feed into it, and they got dikes and stuff. Well, I guess I live here. Missouri River's like this, and then there's I forget what little stream or whatever it is, Papio or something like that. Well, it blew out on the opposite side. So I was like, okay, I heard that on the news or something, or someone told me at work that the dike had blown that way, the opposite direction from me. I'm like, okay, at least it's the other way. Well, then, like the next day, it started filling up and coming around, and I don't know how it did it, but it came that way. Okay. Yeah, opposite way.
So that was, so you got, I'm gonna say chased out, but how many days after the big storm? I mean, you kind of saw it coming in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it was like all the snow was melting. That was, I think, the big thing that affected it, because we got just pummeled this winter with snow, this whole area, and with it warming up and just melting. I think that was a big part of it. But, I didn't really, when I first moved to that house, I didn't realize I was that close to the river until I drove across like a bridge, and I was like, wow, we're right there, aren't we? Because it was kind of I had to find a house quick for that one,
right.
So.
Yeah, then the river said,
yeah,
I'm right here.
yeah, that was, that's bad.
Wow, so, did your wife get home in time? Because you were able to run in, grab stuff, because they just told you got to get out of here. But was your wife able to get in and get
Yeah, she made it home pretty quick. She was there probably about half hour. She was, out west a ways at a park running and stuff. And, once she could tell when I called her that I was pretty serious to get home. And, this is not a laughing matter. We need to get down to it and take care of business and figure out what we need for about 2 weeks, because that's all we knew. Figured I thought maybe it's going to get this high, like 2 feet high or something like that. I think I measured, it was almost 9 foot where I was at in my house.
Yeah, I live in a part of the world where it's hilly enough that I know that'll never happen.
Yeah.
So to imagine that deep of water, is it's mind blowing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I go to a lake up in Canada that on average is maybe 10 feet deep.
Yeah.
But it's a lake. It's always been there.
Yeah.
That's a lot of water.
Yeah.
So just to imagine your house like that, it's like dropping your house into the middle of a lake.
For sure. I always wanted lakefront property, but not like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So, what do you tell other members about the disaster relief program? I had some other guys that were affected, not quite as much as me, and they didn't even want to touch it because they saw how bad I got it. They thought, I don't want to take anything off the table for you, because I lost everything, and like they got a little bit of damage, like in their basement or something like that. But they think it's awesome, And I told them that's the only help I got. And if it wasn't for that, man, I don't know what I would have done, I mean, typically in those situations, say the Red Cross might come in or some relief agency.
FEMA
came in.
Yeah, FEMA came in, but they want to give you a low interest loan. That's what they want. That's how they do it, I guess. I didn't really. My wife kind of dealt with most of that stuff, which I'm glad she, was able to help out with that kind of stuff, because I hate dealing with it.
Yeah. Yeah, my understanding is FEMA is more of a coordinator.
Yeah.
They're not really there to hand out a check or help you move stuff.
No.
We're gonna help you coordinate dealing with all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, in this case, getting a check from the union is something's physically, gonna help you, because suddenly you're scrambling. You might find an apartment and the landlord goes, yeah, but I need all this money up front.
Yeah, exactly.
Where does that extra money come from?
And and I was freaking out a little bit in my head for money and stuff, because I'm the sole provider for my family, and I'm thinking, great, I just spent almost $3,000 to move into this place, a month ago, and now we got to find another place. And yeah, that was a big help. It was a big peace of mind for me, to have some money right away like that fast, to kind of be like in the bank and be like, okay, not too worried now,
That's great. I've gotten a lot of gold out of you. I'm not gonna dig anymore.